Sunday at the NCAA Tournament, the last day for teams to earn their spot in the Sweet 16. Here to talk with me about it, Barry Reeves, our college basketball editor.
Hey, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too, Barry. I feel like we've met before. I'm Tom Vandervoort, and we didn't have many upsets on Thursday, so we didn't have a lot of funky matchups on Saturday. The reverse certainly true from Friday. Now Sunday's games, we got some interesting matchups here.
Yeah, we have eight different lower seeded teams, one on Friday, so that's going to get basically through everybody's brackets into a tizzy. I'm pretty sure you had Norfolk State over Missouri.
Oh yeah.
As one of the ones, or Lehigh over Duke.
I had them both, actually.
Had them both? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Then you must be leading the office pool.
I definitely am.
Well, spend my money wisely. The game of the day, the one that intrigues me the most, actually goes back to Ames, Iowa. It's North Carolina versus Creighton, and you've got Harrison Barnes versus Doug McDermott, high school teammates, playing for the right to go to the Sweet 16. That's very intriguing to me.
Now, are those guys going to match up against each other out there?
I think they're going to see a lot of each other, maybe more so in this game than they ever have in their lives, even in pickup games, because even in Ames, they most likely were on the same team. But here, they're going to be going head-to-head most of the game. Only if North Carolina goes small would you see Barnes out on someone else, but I think McDermott's going to try to put him in the post, going to try to bang him around a little bit, where I think Harrison Barnes is going to try to draw McDermott away from the post, get him out on the perimeter to set up his jump shot off pick and roll situation. So I think very intriguing one-on-one matchup as well, but also North Carolina, they're dealing with John Henson's wrist injury.
Right.
Not sure whether we're going to see him play. It's still very much swollen up. It's his left hand. You may see him try to give it a go, put a brace on it, and see how much pain he can withstand. You know, it's just a sprain, so it's not something that it's going to damage him long term, but it's how can he deal with the pain, rebounding the ball. They don't necessarily need him to score, but boy, they need him to guard that rim a lot better than what they've been doing without him.
Interesting thing about this game to me is that it seems like Creighton might be willing to play at a pace that Carolina wants to play at.
Yeah, this could be a 90 to 89 type of game. So if you're into fast pace, little defense, kind of run and gun, lots of three-point attempts, especially from Creighton. They have 5 guys in their playing rotation who hit 40% or better from three. North Carolina is bad on defense, with the exception of John Henson's really the only guy who's an above-average defender on that team. Creighton defense isn't exactly its number one asset. So I think, we're going to see a lot of points.
All right, let's talk about upsets, because I'm getting from you, Barry, that you still don't believe Georgetown has the monkey off their back. You think North Carolina State's going to take them down here?
Not a believer in Georgetown. They're playing much better defense than they have in recent years, and that's why they're in the second round instead of losing in the first round, which is what they had done their last 2 trips to the tournament. So they're playing better defense. The problem is their offense isn't nearly as cohesive and efficient as it used to be. I think this gives NC State a real opportunity to exploit Georgetown and get the points on the board. The best 2 players on the court are going to be wearing red in that game. You've got Lorenzo Brown, the point guard for NC State, and C.J. Leslie, both guys who can really give Georgetown problems because they're more athletic than the Georgetown defenders, and they're good mid-range game. And that's where Georgetown's very good defending the 3, so I don't think you'll see Scott Wood of NC State, their sharpshooter, have as big a game. But you can beat them in the mid-range game. Get 2 dribbles, jump shot. 2 dribbles, shot. So I think that's the place where NC State can really cause some problems.
And NC State is probably playing their best basketball of the season right now.
Oh, no doubt. They're in first-year coaching staff under Mark Gottfried, but Sid Lowe, while he wasn't exactly a great X's and O's guy, left him some really good parts. If you have a great wing player, you have a great point guard, and you have a spot-up shooter, those are 3 parts that you can really win some tournament games with.
Now, speaking of good parts, a couple good parts led to a couple upsets. And I'm talking about Lehigh over Duke and Xavier over Notre Dame, and that leaves us with C.J. McCollum matched up against Tu Holloway. And for you, this is the matchup of the day as far as players go.
Well, I think C.J. McCollum really opened a lot of eyes on Friday night. Not necessarily with NBA scouts, but certainly with fans, college basketball fans who you don't get to see Lehigh very often on TV, if ever. Maybe their conference championship game's about it. But C.J. McCollum, great with the ball, can drive the lane, get to the rim, hit jump shots. Really, Duke had no answer for him. They had nobody on their team that could guard him or stop or even slow him down to keep him out of the lane. And it wasn't just that he was creating shots for himself. He got 30 points.
Yeah, how many guys dropped 30 on Duke over the years?
But he also had six rebounds and 6 assists. So, he was setting up his teammates, and that's where the problem for Xavier is going to be, now they have two options. They've got two options. You
I
like
that.
They have two Holloway who can guard him, but also Mark Lyons who could be an option as well. So they can, spread the fouls around a little bit or spread the energy. And so in theory, that could help Xavier on the offensive end to keep two a little bit fresher by keeping Mark Lyons on him from time to time.
Now, two hit, of course, what was essentially the game-winning shot against Notre Dame. A hell of a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Holloway.
And he's really it's a little redemption, right, for him after the brawl and all that kind of stuff?
Well, it's for all of the Xavier players. I mean, they went into a huge funk after the brawl with Cincinnati in early December. I think it was like they lost 5 out of 6 games and really took them a while to find their mojo. Really didn't find their mojo until probably the Atlantic 10 tournament, to where they've started to look like they did before the brawl. And so this is a big game for them. They can really, if they get to the Sweet 16, it's time to thump their chests and really feel proud about their accomplishments, not just beating crosstown rival Cincinnati, which is what ignited the brawl all along, was the Xavier trash talk. But this is a team, and I like Tu Holloway. I like Mark Lyons a lot. But he's a little bit more up and down. Tu Holloway's big shots. It was like, so if this game is a 2-point game down the stretch, Tu Holloway's going to take the shot, and chances are he's going to hit it.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great day of games from the NCAA tournament, and after that, we'll know who's in the Sweet 16. For Barry Reeves, I'm Tom Vandervoort. We will see you next time.